Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about distorted writing. My name is Marcel Elpers, Master Profiler through Written Communication. Please like my channel. Above all, share and subscribe. And if you like a video, put it on your playlist. Handwriting is a behavior. We move from left to right while going up and down. And perspective drives our behavior. And therefore, handwriting is a direct reflection of our attitudes and outlook on life. I did a brief introduction in We Are the Details. We are the same, it's the details that differ. And stay tuned because I will have an upcoming book and an online course regarding handwriting analysis principles. Here we see some very distorted handwriting. And we can barely read what it says. There's too many fluctuations to see a consistent pattern. So this is really odd writing, distorted. Keep in mind that odd writing relates to an odd perspective. And the reason is we all know, and this is a mature male, we all know that how a letter is written and what the common standards are. And when somebody writes in such a manner that it is so distorted, it is barely recognizable anymore, that suggests the individual does not care to conform to the standards and suggests non-conformity. This is always a red flag. So if there's one thing I want, especially young women on the dating scene, to walk away with today, always remember odd handwriting, odd perspective, odd behaviors. We also see that this handwriting has a very mixed script. We see some printing, we see some script print, and overall, it is quote unquote unpleasant. We see a small personal pronoun I, or at least smaller, so suggesting that the self-esteem of this author is not high. We see also a fluctuating mid-zone with sudden letters all of a sudden enlarged. We talked about in previous videos about the three zones. The mid-zone, anything above is the upper zone, and anything below is the lower zone. And that is linked, the upper zone is linked to our morality principle, our thought processes. And that is where our motivation originates. The mid-zone, or the reality principle, our daily life, the here and now, living in the moment, is where our emotions reside. It's the degree of our drive. Emotion sets us into motion. And of course, the lower zone is the pleasure principle, where our physical and emotional needs are met. That is our intent. And so we already discussed this, that the mid-zone mediates between the thought and action. So it mediates between motivation, that what we want, and the intent, the degree of our needs. So the mid-zone regulates our instinctual drives. So when we look from that perspective, that the mid-zone regulates our instincts and drives, do I want it? Do I need it? We ask ourselves. Should I not? That is what the mid-zone reflects on. So significant mid-zone distortions show us that the person, the writer, is prone to unrealistic thinking, tends to be hypersensitive in social settings due to a fluctuating self-image. That also means that since the midzone is not controlled, the writer has poor control over his instincts and therefore is unpredictable. Interestingly, the letter E, when that is significantly distorted, as we see here, it looks like a 6 with a flagpole sticking out, is linked to having distorted views of other people's rights. So these people may overstep boundaries regarding others. So we see a writer that has non-conformity in his handwriting and therefore his perspective, and is prone to act on these distorted views. We also see significant upper zone distortions. We see letters that have upper zones that do not belong. Upper zone distortions relate to excessive imagination, unrealistic fantasies. And again, distortions in thinking patterns. And so these type of individuals tend to twist their ideas to fit their personal narrative. They justify their own poor thinking. This writer is David Russell Williams. He was a British-born Canadian colonel in the Canadian forces and a convicted murderer. He did some breaking and entry, stole women's underwear and posed with them at home. Again, if you plan to research or look him up online, please do not have children around.